Hey and welcome back to the exercise video of the drawing the head in 3D space. So I gave you a little overview about what to pay attention to with a stylized head and how it looks in 3D space. Now I want to show you how to use this knowledge in practice. As you can see here, I drew some guidelines over these 3D heads. How to break the head up a little bit to make it easier to draw it. As you can see here, I already drew one head in beforehand. And one thing I want you to pay attention to is this middle line here, this blue middle line. So basically what we're going to do is going to draw a 3D space with a perspective ruler we learned in an earlier lesson. And then draw a ball in that 3D space. And then construct the face with using this middle line on top of the ball. As you can see here, I did exactly that. So I drew a ball, which I imagined as a 3D ball, and then drew this blue profile line basically on top of it. So this green line is also very important. This is basically the eyebrow line of your face. I mean, depending on how your proportions are of your stylized face, this might vary. Like maybe the top of your head might be bigger than the brow line would be a bit lower, basically. But I'm gonna use this this kind of stylization for now. The principle applies to any kind of face. Let's make a grid. So as before, we maybe freehand the grid, like imagine the perspective, and then just draw them from head, and then do the ruler and have it more accurate. So I'm gonna go for a 3-point perspective, like that. I want you to do this from all kinds of angles to really practice it. Practice it from mind especially. And then if you're not sure anymore, check with a reference. Maybe copy it and then go back and practice it again without reference. That way it will stick in your mind better. And you need to do that as often as possible. Alright, now we have that rough grid. Let's create the ruler. I already know how. Let's not do a fisheye. Right. Okay. Alright, there we have it. This should work. So this kind of grid is actually more for you to feel the space and to get a clearer idea of the 3-dimensional space you're going to place that head in. You don't actually have to follow any of these grid lines, but yeah, just fool your imagination. Not fool, but fuel, like give it energy. All right. Turn down the opacity. Okay. Now I just want to draw a ball. So it's basically just a circle right here. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. You're gonna have to adjust it anyways. For example, as you can see here, the front of the face, there's like a little bit cut off from the ball on the sides. But overall, all in all, it's still a circle. It's also a little bit different here, but you will have to adjust stuff a little bit. Drawing is never a really mechanical thing. There's always a little bit of wiggling and stuff. Okay, now we have a ball. Now let's make the face look into the direction of this grid. So imagine the middle point of the ball. Imagine this is actually a round ball. And the middle point is obviously in the middle, even if it's because the ball is just works like that. So you can make this point actually follow the grid. But it doesn't really matter. Because now we want to find the middle line of this ball. So you have to actually guess it and eyeball it basically. So I'm thinking it's about here. So this would be behind the ball and this would be outside. So this would be the brow line, the green line there. Remember when perspective, the stuff that's closer to you is bigger and the stuff that's further away from you becomes shorter. So that's why the lower part appears to be shorter. So even if this is not 100% accurate, I think it looks more accurate if you emphasize this foreshortening basically. So I see that the middle point of the ball is around here because of that. Alright, now the middle of this line would be where this line that goes from the middle hits naturally. It would be around here. And then it would go around like this. And yeah, if you draw the line up here, you'd have the top of the head around here. Okay, so the next part, which is one of the most important ones, is the middle line. This, the profile line, the one that's made out of 5 small lines, which I showed you earlier. So you can look at this this picture here and use that to measure things. So basically we would start here with the forehead. Would be one line. I mean, you could also just follow this, but maybe it's easier in the beginning to draw it straight. Oh, maybe like that, maybe curve it a little bit. And then, of course, it goes in like that. Remember the foreshortening. Don't draw it too long. Because it's in perspective, it's going away from you, it becomes shorter. So maybe there. That would be where the nose starts. As you can see, it comes out again. So let's do that. Don't draw it too long. Remember, the nose is pretty short if you want to draw a cute character. If you want to draw a long nose for a cool character, you would have to make the angle actually lower, so it doesn't come out too much. But if you draw a cute nose, which we're doing right now, it would not be very long of a nose. But as you can see here, it goes more, it's longer than the forehead, in this version at least. So try to make it longer than that. Follow the perspective lines and you can see it's sticking out a bit, so this is okay. Now comes the mouth part. So it goes back again. And since it's turned away again, make sure to not make it too long. So it should be a bit shorter because of the perspective. Okay, and then it goes back, which is this part. But this part is a middle line. As you can see, it goes, the face also has this shape. It's not just, it's not flat. So first, I want you to draw in the ear, where the ear would be. So imagine the roundness of the head again. Follow it, and then you reach this point. Now the ear is always located on the height of the eyes. So you could loosely imagine the top of the ear aligns with the top of the eyes. So maybe around here. We have an ear. And as you can see, the jaw always ends right below the ear. That here too. But you can see it. So the jaw would be here and it's always at an angle. At least for this type of face. So let's draw it in. And now all we have to do is connect these two. And then we have the 3D, at least this side of the face done. The three-dimensional version. Okay. Now on to the next, of the other side of the face.